Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need a mortgage that fits your life? Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts. For all your car care needs, get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
As they were walking in, I bumped into one of the VIPs here. Just happens to be the biggest news name in sports right now. That's Aaron Rodgers. We've heard of the story at Green Bay and what's going on with Aaron. He's here with his fiancée, Shalane Woodley, here this weekend. He didn't want to talk on camera. I can tell you, I characterize Aaron as disappointed that news has come out of this rift with the Packers. He expressed a couple of times how much he loves Green Bay, loves the fans, loves the franchise. There is a chasm between management and the reigning NFL MVP. We're just not sure how this is going to play out. I'll watch closely over the next couple of weeks to see what we hear from the Packers side and when Aaron does speak. Interesting times ahead for sure in the National Football League this week.
That was Mike Tirico at the Kentucky Derby, just casually bumping into Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I'll play along. Anyhow, you hear Tirico there, and he says that Rodgers is disappointed that it got out that he's having issues with the Packers. Who do you think put it out? It was Aaron Rodgers' agent. It was Aaron Rodgers' side that put it out there. The Packers don't want that out there. So Aaron Rodgers could be disappointed all he wants it got out. Talk to your agent, buddy. You're the one who gave the okay to leak it to Adam Schefter the day of the draft that you wanted out. Now, that all being said, I don't blame Aaron Rodgers for being upset. I have said all along, I think the Packers have handled the situation with Aaron Rodgers terribly. It was a mistake to draft Jordan Love. And to me, they almost have doubled down on that mistake by not immediately extending Aaron Rodgers' contract when the season ended, when he went out there and won the MVP and put you in the NFC Championship game for the second year in a row. So I understand why Aaron Rodgers is frustrated. The Packers have not handled the relationship between Rodgers and Love the right way. I mean, 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers goes 13-3, and then you draft his replacement? And then he goes out there and wins the MVP, has arguably the best season of his career, and you don't extend his contract right away? It makes no sense. You got to treat your superstars differently. It's just a way of life. Like, you might not like to hear that if you're a sports fan, but that's just how it goes. These guys have massive egos, and you know what? Aaron Rodgers, if he's not quarterback in the Packers are what? 5-win team, 6-win team? I mean, that's how good Aaron Rodgers is. And Green Bay does have a really good roster, but they're not a Super Bowl team unless Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback for them. Period. End of story. So then the news comes out over the weekend that Aaron Rodgers would only return to the Packers if the GM of the team, Brian Gutekunst, is let go. So now you have Aaron Rodgers trying to just dictate his terms to the organization, either me or the GM. Well, the GM was asked about Aaron Rodgers saying he wants him gone, and this was the Packers GM response to those reports.
You know, Aaron hasn't said anything like that to me, and certainly hasn't said anything publicly. So I think it's a little unfair to kind of, put that on him. But, listen, you certainly don't like to hear those things, but at the same time, it's kind of part of the gig in the National Football League. So, but no, nothing's been communicated directly to me.
Well, he took the high road there. What choice does he have? But man, what a mess this is in Green Bay. What a mess. You got one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and instead of doing everything possible to try and help him win, you draft his replacement, you don't extend his contract, and now this is playing out publicly, which is a nightmare for the Packers. But here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is out of line if his only request to come back is fire the GM or not. The Packers cannot do that. You cannot let one player run your entire organization. So this situation is a mess. And I don't know exactly how it plays out. My guess would be eventually Rodgers shows up. He probably won't show up to anything that's not mandatory. And maybe he doesn't show up right away at the beginning of training camp to send a message. They could fine him up the kazoo, but Aaron Rodgers has more money than God. So I don't think he'll really care that much. I think eventually he shows up, he plays, and this will be his last year in Green Bay. You know how when we all watched The Last Dance, we knew it was Michael Jordan's last year in Chicago. We knew that team was getting broken up. I had Bill Schmidt, who does nights on our network, on my Saturday show, and he made this great point. This will kind of be like the last dance for Rodgers and the Packers. And we saw this play out with another Hall of Fame quarterback. Tom Brady, we knew, in hindsight, we knew. I still kind of refused to believe it till it actually happened, that it was going to be his last year with the Patriots, right? That was put out there by a lot of credible people. It turned out to be true. It seems like if Rodgers does indeed come back to the Packers, and I still think he will because there's no obvious trade fit at this point now that the draft has happened and free agency has unfolded, I still think he'll be a Packer for at least one more year. But then you know what? If they don't rework his contract, they could cut him next year for an easy cap charge that won't kill them and go right to Jordan Love. Because you're going to need to see Jordan Love play by his third year to decide whether or not you're picking up his fifth-year option, which is expensive. But what a disaster. I mean, has Jordan Love's name even been mentioned in a single trade conversation this offseason? What does that tell you about what teams think about him? I mean, man, this situation got ugly so quickly. But one thing I do want to say, because I've heard this a lot over the weekend. Well, Aaron Rodgers, he shouldn't be that mad because, he got his job in the first place due to a similar situation with Brett Favre. And to that, I say, what? Talk about revisionist history on how that unfolded with Favre and the Packers. The Rodgers situation is nothing like what happened with Brett Favre. The thing that happened with Favre was every other year he was threatening to retire. And then he'd come back. Threatening to retire. And then he'd come back. So the Packers were like, we can't bank on you actually coming back every year. We need to draft your replacement. And they drafted Aaron Rodgers with the 24th overall pick in 2005. And he sat for 3 years, which will never happen today with any quarterback that gets picked in the first round. So that situation has nothing to do with what Rodgers is now going through with Jordan Love. See, the Packers in 2007, when they were moving off of Favre, they knew they had Aaron Rodgers for a couple years. They used a first-round pick on him. They were tired of Favre pulling the old, I'm going to retire and then come back trick. The Rodgers situation here in 2021 is the guy still playing at an elite level. He has said publicly he wants to play into his 40s, and he's coming off a season where he just won the MVP. And the second year in a row, they won 13 games. And his team drafted his replacement when they're ready to win. The only situation that's similar between Favre and Rodgers is that they both have played 16 years in the NFL at the same time that this is all happening. That's the only thing that's similar. But as far as saying, Rodgers shouldn't be mad, he should have saw this coming. That's not true at all. How could you say Aaron Rodgers should have saw this coming when the team went 13-3 2 years ago with a first-year head coach, and they're on the cusp of getting even better to go to a Super Bowl, and then you draft his replacement? It's not similar at all. How does this play out, though? I mean, could I see a trade? I guess it's not impossible. After June 1st, the cap hit's a lot less than it would be for the Packers if they deal him now. Did Denver not take a quarterback at number 9? Did they pass on Fields or Mac Jones because they're going to try and work out a deal with Green Bay? I mean, I suppose that's possible. Would they throw Teddy Bridgewater back in the deal just to give Green Bay some insurance at quarterback, or Drew Lock? Maybe. But the Packers GM insisted over the weekend they're not going to trade Aaron Rodgers. And let's see if Aaron Rodgers shows up to training camp this summer. How does that play out? Sounds a lot like we have a last dance situation with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Can we get the documentary people to head up to Lambeau to film Rodgers last year in Green Bay? And then they'll keep the footage for 23 years and then unveil it sometime in 2040 something. How about that?
And now today's Rust Eating Tip of the Day, presented by Free All Deep Penetrating Oil. You're all set for a quick tire rotation.